This is Suzette from the Free J, and this is
Mark from the Free J.
Yeah, I'm behind the camera here.
I'm gonna look at her. She's better than a lens.
He doesn't know, but I'm gonna ask him some questions. First I asked if he's willing. He said yes. So here's the questions I wanted to ask him. Okay, I noticed that your passion that you share on our YouTube channel is really about knowing who God is, knowing that He is God. You know, He is God. There is no other God.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not 3 gods, 4 gods, 5 gods, or 2 gods. It's just God manifested. You know how you believe that He is manifested in.
Yeah.
And so, going with that, the first question I want to ask you is, I know this is like a hard question in a way, but it's just something that I thought of. If you had to say or share by scripture one verse, they said to you, Mark, you can only share one scripture verse that points out who God is, what scripture would you say or give? And if you could quote it, if you know it.
Well,
I know
I was
that's
hoping
awesome.
that one would just like rocket across my mind like a bolt in the sky. The only one I can think of right off the top is Zechariah 14:9. And it says, "And in that day the Lord shall be king over all the earth." I don't know it.
Oh, you want to look it up real quick?
Yeah, I mean,
And see
I thought I
what-
did know it. I get nervous under pressure.
Oh,
'Cause those
don't
are-
be under pressure.
These are scriptures I know. Believe it or not, folks, I really know is the Lord shall be king over all the earth, and His name shall be one. But I that's not it. So let me go Zechariah 14:9.
Well, I shouldn't say don't get nervous under pressure. If you feel pressured, sorry about that.
And the Lord shall be king over all the earth. In that day shall there be one Lord, and His name one. That to me says it all. As far as we have one God, we have one Lord, and it's Jesus.
Okay, that's beautiful. Another question is, would you say that God reveals to you His truth about who He is more in your personal relationship or by reading scripture, or both?
Wow, that's a good question. Because, like I appreciate the first question, but I just want to add to that. I don't want to make that to be like, I think we all should have some proof text.
Right.
If someone asks us, because it is personal. And that's not to belittle the Bible. The Bible is beautiful. It's wonderful. But I think we have a more intimate and direct relationship with Him than even a lot of us know, because we're thinking these thoughts all the time, and we get these little insights, and we come home, we tell our spouse or our loved ones or a friend or whatever, and they're, oh, I just got this understanding. And I'm not saying we ignore it, but we don't always think and realize, oh, that was Him talking to me. Because we always have these dramatic images or ideas of how God talks to you. He calls you by name, and then He says these things. But we're all walking around, and every so often He gives us an insight that helps in our life or helps in our whatever, a teaching or something, or just the way we see Him or each other. And to me, that's so. It's hard to say it's more the Bible or it's more in my relationship, because the Bible is part of my relationship with Him. But why I just sit around, just sitting there, and sometimes we'll both say it to each other, babe, what are you thinking about? And it could be supper,
Yeah.
or it could be Him. But the way it makes me realize is I'm never disconnected from Him, never. Even when I'm thinking about supper, it's like He's there. I may not be consciously aware of it, but He is there, because my very next thought, or my very thought, but right before that, was usually about Him. And I'll tend to think, wow, I figured this out, or I thought of this, or I put 2 and 2 together, I came up with this. But more and more, I'm realizing, again, like I said in the lesson, not to be shamed, but just to be aware that I'm not figuring out anything. We're figuring out stuff. I mean, He already knows it, but he's showing me because I'm just kind of dwelling on these things, and the connection gets met all the time. I would say it's more, as far as like just quantity, it probably happens more when I'm reading the scripture, but I don't read scripture as much as I think. So it's hard to say, because when I'm thinking, sometimes he just shows me, you know, like I'll do sometimes. I'll just get up in the middle of the night and run out to the couch and start recording something, because it's like he's just there. To me, it's like he's just there. And I try to appreciate that and try to also think, well, I don't have to record every darn thing. Maybe he just wants it to be between me and him.
Right.
You know? And so I struggle with those things, but it's like a wonderful struggle, because I don't always understand it, and then I don't always understand too, why did I have this thought and now it's gone, and I don't even know if I'll ever get that understanding back. And then I realized, well, no, the one who gave me that is right here, so why should I worry about it? But
well, that's beautifully said, and let me just go back to that real quick.
Thank you.
I believe you're always reading the scriptures, because I see you.
Oh.
Anyway, last question here.
Okay.
Might be two questions in one. Asking, who was that died on the cross to you?
That was my God who became a man. That was the creator of the universe, who loved me so much that he became like me, for me. That was him.
Okay, and what is your understanding of why he did what he did? What has he allowed you to know? What is the meaning of the cross to you? Your understanding, not of what you've been taught or heard or whatever, that he allowed you to know now in your life, now, today, present. What is that meaning to you that he allows you to understand?
Oh, in simplicity, it's a representation of his love for me, and in detail, it is that there was something between me and him, namely sin. He couldn't connect with me. He wanted to know me passionately, deeply, intimately, and he wanted me to know him the same way. And it never could happen unless the sin was gone. But because of the way things were set up, the only way that could happen is if the sin was taken away, and he did it himself by becoming, like I say, becoming like me and dying in my place to take away that sin. So there's no separation between me and him. Now it's just me and him, a direct connection, because of what he did on the cross. He took away the block between me and him, so I can have true intimacy with him and do what I was created to do, which is know him.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, thank you for answering all the questions.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for listening.